What is up, guys? Welcome back to Fan First Sports. I hope you guys are having a great day. And today is week 1 of the NFL season. I am so excited. It's Christmas basically for football fans. And I know I talk a lot about the Blazers on this channel, which I love, but football is my sport. Football is my passion. And I'm just so excited as the season moves forward to continue to make football videos along with Blazers content for you guys. And so for week 1, I watched the Seattle Seahawks go into the Indianapolis Colts. And the reason why is I thought this was going to be a very competitive game. Both teams, I feel like, are fighting for the tops of their divisions and have a great chance to make the playoffs and then possibly do some damage there. Now, I'm going to say this game, Seattle went to the Colts and won 28-16. It taught me a lot and showed me a lot more about the Colts and where they're at than it did with the Seahawks. And what I mean by that is Seattle really went there. They went to Indianapolis and took care of business. They played their brand of football. They got what they wanted, and they walked away with a very clean win against the Colts, who are a tough team. Week 1, fans back, the crowd is rocking, and you come in and you just take care of business. And I thought Seattle did that really well. On the Colts, the other hand, I thought there was question marks, and it was a pretty disappointing game if you're a Colts fan. They just didn't live up to the expectation, I feel like, at home in front of their fans. And so at first, I'm going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks and the positives I got from them, and then we'll go towards the Colts. But like I said, the Seahawks, they went in 28-16, clean win against the Colts. And the first takeaway is you got to look at Russell Wilson. And to me, Russ played amazing, man. He was throwing guys open. He was not really ever forcing anything. He took what the defense gave, and Russ, to me, really, I would say he's mastered his game. He's a student. He constantly is learning, but his performance today really shows that he is on another level, and he's ready for an MVP-like run. He had 5 incompletions, but he had 4 touchdown passes. He completely controlled the game, and a big part of it goes to his receiving core. The one thing I took away is DK Metcalf. He really controls so much attention. I mean, you got this big body, 6'3" athletic freak that can outrun anybody, and you really can't leave a one-on-one matchup. DK's 1 touchdown, he was on a one-on-one matchup and simply runs a post route and boxes out the safety, and it's just pitch and catch for him and Russ. And so DK commands so much attention, and what that does is it leaves Tyler Lockett completely alone. And to me, Tyler Lockett is the most underrated / underappreciated receiver in the game. He's so slippery, and he's a great compliment to DK. Russell Wilson actually commented on it, is Tyler Lockett has amazing ability to adjust in the air. And so what Russ can do is he can basically throw Tyler Lockett open anytime he wants, and he knows Tyler can go and make a play. Tyler Lockett was amazing this game. And the last thing I want to touch on about this offense is you have Carson, who is a battering ram. I love watching Carson in this game, and I think he's the perfect addition. He completes this Seattle Seahawks offense because you got a bruiser. And the announcer said it best in that game. Usually I don't like their takes, but Carson really turned 2 to 3 yard runs in the first half into 5 and 6 yard runs, and really he made the Colts defense just get demoralized. There was constant times where Colts defenders had their hands on the hips and were walking back to huddles, because when you think you got a guy stopped at the line of scrimmage and you have Carson continuing to battle and churn and rip off 4 to 5 yard runs, it gets tiring, man. It gets tiring when a guy's lowering his shoulder. And so that offense did great. On the other hand, I think which was more impressive with the Seahawks was their defense. The D-line played amazing and really dominated the Colts offensive line this game, and I didn't expect that at all. Carlos Dunlap was a monster on the defensive line for Seattle. Then at the linebacker position, Bobby Wagner played great, consistent like he does. And the biggest thing to me or I guess more of the like a really cool thing, is watching the Seattle Seahawks safeties, Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. Man, they are elite. I love how hard hitting they are and down, like they play downhill and come down. I love how Jamal Adams, you can kind of throw him wherever, put him in the box, blitz him, and he makes plays. The defense really showed me a lot. The one thing I took away is the defense for Seattle, they bended this game. The Colts had a couple long drives where they were just moving the ball consistently, but the Seattle Seahawks never broke. They held the Colts to, a couple turnover on downs, they held them to field goals, and they kept points off the board. This game finished 28-16, but it really didn't feel that close. The reason why is it didn't seem like the Colts offense could put up points or could put up points fast. And so a 10-point lead felt like a 21-point lead. And I think Seattle just had a clean win, and there was not a lot of negatives. Now, on the flip side, the Colts had question marks, and it was disappointing. I guess the positives I could take away was I thought Carson Wentz played a pretty solid game when he wasn't being hit or taken to the ground. On 41 dropbacks, he got hit 15 times. He got sacked 4 times. He really didn't feel comfortable in there. And it was a weird thing because for the Colts, they have an elite offensive line. Now, going into this game, they've been banged up all summer through training camp. They're missing their starting left tackle and Eric Fisher, who they need bad because, man, they were really getting dominated, and it was hard for Carson Wentz to stand in there. But I thought he made the right plays when needed to. He didn't force anything, and he was extremely accurate. And I think that's exciting for Colts fans because, once they shore up that offensive line and get the run game really going downhill, Carson Wentz is going to have more time. He can feed off play actions and make plays. 2 receivers. On defense, I thought they were a lot better in the second half than the first half. Their DBs really got roasted. They got cooked out there. Russell Wilson was getting whatever he wanted on him. And at a certain point for a DB, you have to get angry and say, I'm tired of getting beat. Take some, have some, challenge yourself, right? Don't get beat like that. And just say, this guy is not better than me. I don't care who lines up against me. I'm going to stop him. And it just seemed like they were playing lifeless, and they were getting, roasted, cooked on these routes repeatedly. And it's not a good sign. I know they're down Xavier Rhodes, their starting corner, but it was not a good sight for the Colts on defense. But I think they shored it up in the second half. Moving forward, their DBs have to rise to the occasion. And they have to come out from the start ready to go. They looked lifeless at times on defense, a couple missed tackles, but it's nothing to really worry about. The last thing I will say with the Colts, and I pointed this out on some Instagram comments, is Frank Reich was extremely questionable today. And that's the Indianapolis Colts head coach. What I thought about his play calling is he is by far the most conservative play caller. I mean, he's constantly running screens, underneath routes, halfback dives on weird second and 10s, and I don't know. I didn't like the play calling. But then he's so conservative. But then every time there's a risk or a gamble, he goes for it. I've never seen a coach that goes for it more on 4th down than he does. And I'm not opposed to it, but it's like, run something better. Run something with multiple options on 4th down. And they left a lot of points on the board. And so moving forward, I want to see Frank Reich get a little bit more aggressive, but then also take points when you have them, right? You can't leave points on the board like they did constantly. And so it led to a very sound Seahawks 28-16 win. And now for the Colts, you go and play the Rams next week, which is not going to be easy. That NFC West is looking extremely tough. But overall, it was a solid game. I'm so happy football's back. The Seahawks did what they needed to do, and they looked great. They looked very sound, played their brand of football. Let me know what you guys thought about this game, or week 1 performances, or what you think about me making some football videos. Let me know in the comments below, but I'm so excited for football to be back. yeah, and I guess I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys take care out there and have a great rest of your day, okay? See ya.